On today's ChurchTechCast.com Screencast Show, ripping DVDs for ProPresenter 5. The ChurchTechCast.com Screencast Show and all the ChurchTechCast.com shows are generously provided for by viewers like you. Thank you. Head on over to patreon.com/PaulAllenCliff, that's patreon.com/PaulAllenCliff, PaulAllenclif, and support the show for as little as $1 a month. Every little bit counts, so thank you. So, here's what's going on. My lovely and gracious wife has taken a step into ProPresenter, and that's great because it makes it easy for me to know what people that don't have a lot of experience with it need to know. And this is a question that she had, and I sort of directed her originally to a different show that I had where I showed you how to transcode video. But that really didn't give all the bits and pieces of it. So I thought I would make one especially for her and other viewers like her. So let's head on over to ProPresenter 5 and I'll show you just a couple of things about ripping video and how I would do it. So the first thing is this. We've got an issue where I don't know if this is every computer or I just am missing a driver or what, but if you go to DVD, which is right over here in the default menu setup, you see this, and I've got a DVD chosen, but it's just got a gray screen. I don't know exactly what's going on with that it just has this gray screen. So, if you run into this problem, this is how I would get around this. You can absolutely rip in ProPresenter 5 using this feature, but it doesn't seem to want to work for mine, so that's why I'm going to have you go first. Here, let me just minimize ProPresenter 5. Bam! Let's first go to squared5.com. Now, I don't exactly know their business model, but I do know that I've used MPEG Streamclip for probably 5 or 6 years and had no problem whatsoever. And you'll notice here that if you go to squared5.com, you can get MPEG Streamclip for Mac and Windows. So if you're on either of these platforms, you can absolutely get this, download it, install it, and let me show you what it looks like. So here we are. This is MPEG Streamclip. I'm not totally sure what the Amiga or Altair choice up here in the menu bar do. Those are, of course, old computers, so I think that they're kind of an inside computing joke that the MPEG Streamclip folks have added in here. But here's what you do if you want to rip a DVD. First off, you put the DVD in the DVD drive. That seems pretty straightforward to me, assuming you have one. But let's just assume that you've got an optical drive on this particular computer. Now you want to go to File, Open DVD. And here's the first place where you need to make a choice. So this is spinning up. We'll give it just a second to do that. It's going to list, first off, where the DVD is. In this case, I'm scrolling down. I'm on OS X Mavericks. So I've got this DVD underscore demo underscore, I think it's actually project. But anyway, it doesn't matter all that much because this is the only DVD that I have right here. And you'll notice that you've got Video TS and Audio TS folders. A lot of people will try to rip, they'll say, oh, I need the video, and they'll go into there, and they'll see all these, and they'll go, oh yeah, it must be one of these here. And no, DVDs are weird. I don't know exactly why DVDs are weird. I think it might have something to do with the copy protection they initially put on them, but by the way, you should have permission from the DVD creator to do this, whoever has the rights to the DVD. So I don't want you ripping Lord of the Rings here without permission. I'm talking about something you have permission to rip. So let me be absolutely clear there. So you might think that you would go into these folders. You don't. You just click select here. And that should select that. Now here's where we have our first choice. Which DVD movie do you want to open? This is going to be a little trial and error, although normally, or at least in this case, number 1 is the menu, number 2 is chapter 1, and so on. In this case, I've already gone through each and every one of these, and I know that the one that I want is 10, I believe. It's either 10 or 11. Let's see. I'll know that pretty quick, because this is going to open. Okay, so I believe this is it. Let me scrub. Yep, this is the one that I want. So this is number 10. And this is an old project that I did, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. So you'll notice it's in standard definition. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio, almost square, as opposed to the more rectangular 16:9 that we see in high def. So this is the one that I want. Now this is actually a guy I know named Todd. Hi, Todd. So I could mark an in point here, and I can do that with, I believe, so this plays in real time but backwards. So this one right here plays forwards, of course. And so let's see here. I didn't shoot this video, I edited it. But let's see here. So that was there. I can play in real time forwards, or if I want to go back, I believe this, oh, it actually goes a little bit slow backwards. So I'm going to do that, and let's say I want to go forward. Okay. So I've got control there. Let's say that I need to just take a piece of this by typing I for in. You see down here it marks in. That's where it will start. And O for out is where the clip that I want ends. I think I want to clear those. Let's see here. So I could go to the in time, I could go to the out time, but instead, let me see, cancel selection. Yep, cancel selection gets rid of that or X. You'll see up here in the edit menu, this gives us a lot of choices here. Select in, I, select out, O, cancel selection, X. So I can go to a specific time, I could go to the in, I could go to the out, etc. So let's say instead of the in and out point, although I could mark those just by typing I where I want it to be and O where I want it to be as well, and I can go forward and backwards one frame at a time using the arrow keys here. So let me say that I want to get this entire shebang. So what I'm going to do is go File, Export to Quicktime, or Command E, And again, I'm doing this on a Mac, so if you're doing this on the PC, it'll probably be somewhat different. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click where it says compression. This is the codec. Remember, a codec is a series of instructions that tell it how to compress and decompress. Co for compress, dec for decompress the video. What I want is H.264 here. I have no idea why these are not in alphabetical order, but they're not. So it starts with Apple FCP uncompressed, and then it goes down, and this, I think it chooses one of these in here by default. For ProPresenter 5, we want H.264, okay? Now, for something like this, I might put the quality at 100%. If you've got something that's higher quality, you're probably good into the 70s, and that'll save you a little space. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave the sound uncompressed, leave it as stereo, leave it as audio. I can choose the frame size here, but I don't want to go bigger than what I have. And in this case, since it's a DVD, so it's standard definition and it is 4:3 aspect ratio, I'm just going to stick with this. Frame rate, I don't have to worry about. Deselect for progressive movies. If this was a progressive DVD, I would deselect these two, but it is in fact not. I think I'm going to actually click the de-interlace video just so that I can de-interlace it. Field dominance, upper first. You'll notice that it says use upper first for all codecs except DV. Well, this isn't the DV codec, so that's okay. Rotation, if for some reason it was sideways, I could rotate it, or if it was backwards, I could rotate it, etc. I can zoom in, I can center it, I can change the cropping down here. And what you don't see is below here there's a presets button, a reset all button. So reset all takes this back to where it was, but I'm not going to actually do that. And adjustments pops this up where I can do some basic adjustments. I could add in a watermark of a certain word. I could add automatic volume control. I could lower the volume, raise the volume, etc. Change the brightness, contrast, saturation, etc. But I'm going to cancel that. Okay. Down here we have, again, below the preset button. Sorry, this is just off screen. I don't think I can make that any smaller. I can't. I'm trying to get the best quality I can on this streaming. I have a preview. I have a, which I'm not going to use. I have a fast start, which I am going to check in case that I wanted to put this on the internet. Again, only if I had permission. So I'm going to actually uncheck this. Cancel makes this all go away, or make movie. And make movie, which is right down here, is the button I'm going to click. And when I do that, this will think for a second, it should give me it should ask me where I want to save this to. And by default it'll bring up the DVD itself, which it can't do. So let's go to my video drive. This is where I store everything, and let's go to MISC videos. And I'm going to call this is your life, because this is a video that was set to a live playing of the Switchfoot song This Is Your Life. Okay, so let's click save, and we'll see that we have this come up. This should give us a preview of what it's doing, so in case you see something funky, you can stop it. And this over here shows me the progress that it has, and it's already gone 2%, 3%, etc. So we should see through this entire video. It's not showing all the frames, it's just showing every few frames and so on. So we'll see, we've got a close-up of Todd's mouth talking on the phone. The story of this video is that we've got a guy that is a workaholic, and he's calling home to his wife, but he has to stay late, and he doesn't enjoy the fact that he has to stay late, but he feels like he has no other choice. And we're just going to see a little bit of the backstory of what's going on in this situation. So this is kind of him at work, just dealing with being in a cubicle, all that fun stuff. You'll notice I'm already at 17%. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then we'll import the final product into ProPresenter 5 when we're done. And then I'll just show you the quality that we get. So this is, so you can see this is not a particularly long clip. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So this, at least on this MacBook Pro, which is doing quite a lot of heavy lifting, quite frankly, I am encoding this here. I've got ProPresenter in the background, and I've also got Wirecast running, streaming this live. So this could be much faster on your computer depending on a few different factors, or it could be slower if you've got an older Mac. Again, I'm doing this on a Macintosh. I think this is a Core 2 Duo. Really want an i7 or an i9, but I've got what I've got. So you can see we had some video of him driving. Here are the lights. Just, this is, by the way, not a happy video. This doesn't end well. This was meant to end kind of leaving those of us watching. Now we have a dream sequence with his dad and him as a boy. So this is kind of a flashback while he's driving home, having been really late. So here we go. That's that. Okay, we're almost half done with the video, and here he is as a teen, a rebellious teen, same father disapproving of his actions, and then we'll see him as an adult here in just a second. So here he is as an adult, and see how that's nicely framed with him in 1/3 and his father kind of in the distance. Today we shoot this with a more shallow depth of field, but the camera that we had at the time would do this. Sorry, not particularly the purpose of the video, but I just wanted to show you in real time how we were going to do this, and we'll go from here. So, still crunching along, excuse me, and we're back to Todd in his car listening to this, dealing with the sadness of what his life is like now, where he's working late. It's 11:54 p.m., so we can tell that this is very late for him to be getting home from work. Since he's a suited employee, he's a presumably a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, 9 to 6 kind of guy, and yet he's getting home you know, 6 or 7 hours late. So here he is at his home, finally having arrived. And I think we see him sit down, and there he is with his wife, also an actress. This is actually the wife of our interim pastor right now, and see how they're separated. Little thing showing how separate they are, in effect, because of his choices to work late, which he probably thinks is for her. And then she goes to bed, leaving this photo album here. The photo album, of course, representing the happier times in the past where he just wasn't so consumed by work. Here he is in the hallway where it's purposely dark because it's nighttime. He looks in on, it's been a while since I've watched this. I want to say he looks in on this kid. And remember, we're about 84% complete here. So, and then he's walking down the hall. And to another bed. And you'll notice his, if memory serves, his wife is not in it. So he's actually sleeping in the guest bed. So this is not what he envisioned his life being. I think we'll see his head in his hands here in just a second. So, as I say, this video was meant to present the problem, not present the solution. So, this is 96% complete, 97. So we're almost done. And we'll bring that into ProPresenter, and I'll show you the result we got. 99. Movie complete. Okay. So that's just showing us the frame where I stopped it. It ends with him like looking down, and it turns black and white and fades to black. Okay. So let me quit out of MPEG Streamclip. Quit that. At this point I would eject the DVD, which I'm going to do. You'll hear that eject, I believe. You might hear some background hiss. I didn't correctly adjust my mic, so I don't have as much signal as I would like. Okay, now let's go into ProPresenter. So we go into ProPresenter, and now what I'm going to do is, instead of clicking on this DVD button, because I've already ripped the DVD, I'm going to go File, Import, Video/Image. And that was in Care Paravel under Videos, under MISC Videos. This is your life right there. And that was 65.8 megs. So for 2 minutes, that's like 35 megs a minute. And click Open. And that's going to import and put it right here. Now in this case there are some adjustments that I need to do. I need to right click, and first off I want this to stop. Secondly, this is in backgrounds. I actually should have clicked foregrounds before I did that, but that doesn't matter right now. I'm going to go to Media Properties, and you'll notice that this is kind of squished. Yeah, so what I actually want to do is I want to adjust that real quick. So it's on Stretch to Fill. I want to do Scale to Fill. No, Scale to Fit. Scale to Fit is what I want. Scale to Fill, you'll notice, zooms in on it and crops it. That might be okay, but I don't know if it works. And yeah, see, like this one where it's particularly tight doesn't necessarily work. That one seems to have way too much headroom. They don't all seem to work as well. So what I would actually want to do is Scale to Fit, which gives us these pillar bars, which is less than ideal. But what I could do is, let me just save that as it is. And if this was a foreground video, what I could do is I could put this, actually let me do this. Let's say I want to put that up here. I'm going to put this in the background. And again, let me go to Media Properties, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this back to Scale to Fill. So there we are on that, and let's do some stuff with it. Let's add an image blur. Blur it out really good. Let's lower the saturation. So there we are on that. So you might be thinking, oh, Paul, that doesn't look good at all. You're right. So let's now go to Edit Slide. I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to first get rid of this. So we go back over here to this one, having selected the entire thing. And I'm going to hit Delete on my keyboard. Now I'm going to add in another copy of that. And let's see here. Do that here. Okay, so there we go. Let's actually, because while this is technically correct, I want to have it fill a little bit more of the screen than that. Okay. So it should be the case that as soon as I press on this, I wonder if I can do a drop shadow. Radius of, let's see what 10 looks like. Length. Yep. So length is what I want. This angle will change the angle of the drop shadow, so I can put it up in the upper left-hand corner, or put it in the lower right, which is better. Okay. So let's close this out, and I'm going to just put this beforehand, and then we'll click on it and we'll take a look at what the whole thing looks like. So that's not perfect. I actually need to do a little work on it to sync that up. But you can see how we can actually fill in the background if this was all synced up well with the same thing, just blurred out and desaturated so that it fills in this extra space. So that's probably what I would do instead of cropping. Okay? So that actually affected the background, not the foreground. So let me instead clear all. And we're good to go on that. So that is how I would rip and then use a DVD in ProPresenter 5. So I hope that helps you, and I hope that it helps your church as you're going out and changing eternity. If you like this video, don't forget to like, thumbs up, comment, share, all that fun stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to the video podcast or this show yet, I don't know why, because it's free. And I have a friend who says if it's free, it's for me. So I hope that this set of screencasts, which is all about ProPresenter 5 and sometimes all about other software that we use in the church, can help you in what you're doing. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.